Welcome to Park Bench Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hey everybody, it's Randy Goodman here from Harvey Callis Real Estate. I'm super excited to be interviewing Greg Turner, who is a digital marketer and founder of Supersize Your Business, and I can't wait to hear all about that and what it's about. Thank you, Greg, for being here with me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and good morning to you.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing everything that you have to say, and I know you have so much to teach, but that's not what this is about, but I'm sure you'll share something with us later. But please tell us a little bit about what do you do? What is your business?
Okay, sure. So my business is called Supersize Your Business, and really Supersize Your Business is a verb. You know, what we specialize in is providing you with digital solutions that will help you to grow your business, to help you to supersize your business. So that translates into digital marketing campaigns, which includes advertisements, advertising, sales funnels. So that means marketing strategy that helps you to build your digital presence, take leads from online platforms like social media platforms and search, and convert the people that you meet there into customers, right? So that's really our main objective, is to help you to do that. Also, we help you with just establishing your online presence. So for example, if you wanted to monetize your business or find new sources of revenue using the internet, then we can help you with building a strategy for that, which if I can share, like at the time of this interview, we're all in social distancing rules because of COVID-19. It becomes even more important today to be able to generate revenue online, right? Because
Absolutely.
People are not going outside as much, right? So that's one of the areas that we help businesses with as well, is how do you take your traditional business and take what it is that you do and deliver it through online mediums that helps you to keep generating revenue, even if your storefront is not open and people can't physically be with you, right? So,
I think that's really important for businesses to thrive and to stay alive and make it through times like this. So yeah, it's really good to connect with somebody like you. You're also an author.
Right. Yes. So I have my first book, Supersize Your Business, is it was actually the catalyst for what started my agency. So when I started off in web development and just helping people with just again getting their online presence. And one of the challenges that almost every customer at the time had was, they have a website, but they have no idea how to market with it,
Right.
how to use it to help their business. So it was really just an expense for them, right? So,
Right.
What I understood was they didn't understand at the time social media marketing. And at that time, social media, Facebook was still in its, I would say in its infancy when I started off
Right.
with development. So I created this book really to kind of take everything that is here, the strategies, best practices, and to put that into one outlet, right? Which is what created the book Supersize Your Business.
Yeah, I love it.
Once that was done, that's what actually opened the door for me to start doing digital marketing consulting, right? So that's how I started, and I actually renamed my business to Supersize Your Business as a result of that, because a lot more people recognize me because of the book.
Right.
I just said, okay, well, the book's name is awesome. Why not just use it for your business instead, right? So,
That's a fun name.
yeah, exactly.
Right? So, Greg, and you're also in the 365 Empowering Stories, right?
Correct,
That's
correct. So
awesome.
I'm also co-authored with Randy. That's why I say it's my first book, because I've been published at least 3 times.
Nice. So what led you to do this, Greg? Like, did you grow up thinking I'm going to be a digital marketer, or did you grow up thinking I'm going to be a rock star like I did?
I never had a rock star dream, to be honest. It's crazy. I think every kid should. I probably had a dream that I'd be a professional athlete, you
Okay.
know, but I didn't follow through with that. No, so I've always been an entrepreneur. You know, like a friend of mine once told me that, Greg, you're a busybody. You can't do one thing. Like, you have to have your mind engaged all the time,
Right.
right? And he's right. You know, this is someone that's known me for years, and you know, to me, it was, you know, what it is that could challenge me. And you know, business ownership is really that thing where, you know, I view business ownership as it's an opportunity for self-expression, right? So
Absolutely.
if you work for someone, right, uh, you'll have an idea, you have a job to do, but you
Yes.
have an idea that you say, you know, what would really make this place better? You know, what would be awesome that will make this company a lot more money? And you pitch it, or you can try to pitch it, and they'll say, you know, no, that's not in our plans right now, right? So when you hit that wall,
Right.
then what do, right? If you're a business owner, then if you have something, if you see a need in the market, you can adjust, you can make whatever decisions you need to make in order to deliver that to the market, right? Which is why I love entrepreneurship, because it just gives you so much flexibility to do whatever the heck you want, right? How I started, I think I've always been an entrepreneur. As early as I can remember, I think this was probably kindergarten. Like, I remember when we used to have Christmas parties at the end of the school semester in December.
Okay.
And from that time, my dad used to. I remember this particular time anyway, where my dad would say, volunteer to provide pop, right? So that's soda, because they kept coming in disposable bottles that you can always take back, recycle, and get money back for them, right? So every time, whenever there was a party, I always volunteered to do that, to provide, pop, drink, soda, whatever you call it in your own market, right? In Jamaica, we call it soda. I grew up in Jamaica. So so that was kind of like my first insight into, oh yeah, if I do something here, there's actually a return that I can get by the action of life. So
that's quite a concept to get at a young age.
Yeah, exactly. I got that concept delivered to me really early. And then because of that, I think I always did things that if I had an idea to make money, because like my parents wouldn't give me money or anything like that. So I'd say, well, I want to buy something. So how do I get it without getting in trouble? Right?
Key point, yes.
Key point, right? You gotta not get in trouble while doing it. So in school, I'd have mixtapes. Like in high school, I did mixtapes. I also sold stationery at one point in high school.
Wow. You are the entrepreneur. Holy.
Yeah, this would probably, I don't know if this would have got me in trouble, but my dad would give me stationery, right? So, your parents buy you supplies for school, and I would go to school and sell them.
Well, I hope they're not listening now.
My stationery. So
hilarious. So clearly you're a serial entrepreneur. It was in your blood. You were meant to be an entrepreneur. But did you leave like high school thinking I'm going to be a digital marketer, or what were you passionate about at that time?
So it's interesting because when I left high school, originally my thought was um, accounting, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, just like you, right?
Yeah.
You know, because that was that was in my family. Like, there's a few accountants in my family, right? I grew up with an accountant,
Okay.
and at that time there was .com stuff really taking off, right? So
Okay.
this was like the late 90s. Um, so what so I decided to go into technology. So I decided I wanted to learn how to program, how to code, right? Because I saw at that time where Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all these other folks, I can't remember their names now. Some of them are billionaires today, or most of them
Right.
probably,
Right.
right? That all these folks, they're developers, right? They create something, they have a thought, they say, hey, what would be great? Let's, people need to speak to each other remotely and be able to see each other. Okay, let's create a
Right.
video conferencing software, right? Like you can create something from nothing on a digital platform, right? Any
Right.
idea that you have, if there's a logic behind it, you can create it and you can sell it, right?
Yep.
So I ended up going into computer science because ultimately I knew that I would be opening a technology company, right?
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that's how I started. In college, I also sold candy. So so anyway, so I never.
Were you taking accounting in college?
No, I was doing computer science.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Great.
was doing computer science, but still a serial entrepreneur. And
Okay.
but yeah, so I went into computer science because I saw it as an opportunity um to create things from nothing, right?
Right.
And then of course it's kind of led me to where I am today, where I still do development. So I do app development, web development,
Okay.
and I mean, we develop our own platforms. Like our website is a platform that we developed ourselves.
Nice.
Um, However, like as I said, we kind of just stumbled onto marketing, right? Where
Right.
people were kind of saying, well, I don't know how to do this. Well, and then they're saying, Greg, you're the tech guy. Tell me how to do it. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll tell you how to do it. So yeah, it was probably, it's just, I guess, a natural maturation of my thought process,
Right.
where you started off working on computers, working in development, and it just led to what it is that I'm doing right now.
Because you found a need and you wanted to service that need, and it's something that you're good at. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. I
exactly.
love that. I love
Exactly.
that. But you also are involved in the community
Yeah.
and you like to give back. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. How I give back is through like mentorship, right? So there's, where there's the opportunity, I aim to mentor other people in business ownership and entrepreneurship.
Nice.
A lot of us start off in, say, the corporate world. Like one of the things that I've learned over these years is how to take those take like take what it is that you've learned in your corporate world, like working for others, and then applying it to what it is that you're passionate about,
Right.
and monetizing it, right? So that's one of the things that I do. Like where possible, I mentor. I'm a part of a few groups that gives that opportunity,
Hmm.
right? So um so that's very important. um in my community as well, like, so I mentioned I grew up in Jamaica and migrated to Canada. So as well, like, I try to also help others in my community who have just moved here, right? So there's
Right.
people who moved to Canada who have similar backgrounds to myself, who don't necessarily know like how to integrate into the community, right?
Right.
So um, I always have like resources that I've known that's worked over the years that I'd say, okay, this is someone that you can connect with to help you to get into the job market. Maybe there's someone that can help you with your resume, right? Like there's many organizations like that, and I try to stay connected with people within those organizations,
Right.
just so that when you move to a new country, like the first 2 years so important. That determines exactly what happens over the next 10.
Right.
So there's people who go through that transition that I've went through that I try to help as well. So a lot of my, I'd say, community give back really comes from like utilizing the skills that I know that I already have,
Right.
and just passing it on to others.
Well, that's awesome. I love that you're doing that. What are some of the groups that you're involved with?
So there's one that is fairly new at this time. It's called the Black Consortium United, right? So it's a community that's geared towards helping to build a culture of entrepreneurship within the community, like people who are from, say, African descent. So whether you're from the Caribbean, Canada, Africa, there's a lot of people who are probably like immigrants in that group as well.
Right.
So, so that's something that I take part in.
Okay.
Also, I'm associated with my alumni association in Jamaica. So I went to Meadowbrook High in Jamaica. So
Nice.
where I can, and not as much as I'd like. The president has a word with me about that, but yeah, like that's I try to help. Like it's an association that helps our high school back in the high school I went to back home, right?
Very nice.
So that's one other organization. What else? There's a few. Like I'm not like it's more like you give your time where you can, Then there's other things that I do. So it's a lot of small things like involved with Plan Canada as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've done some stuff there as well. So
that's awesome.
Another
that's
one.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a few. CB, I can't even remember that. It's a one called Christian Missions for the Blind or something like that.
Wow.
Helps. I don't do missionary work or anything, but I tend to like help, like go to their events, like if they have a fundraiser, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting organization because it helps people with disabilities, actually.
Right.
So a lot of charity work just focuses on general need, and it doesn't necessarily carve out a niche to say, well, like the people who probably cries the loudest or who has the ability to go and get it are probably the ones that are at the front of the line. But what about the people who are too weak, to actually get help, right? Or to move or to communicate and so on. So it's an organization that helps people with disabilities to access services that they need as well. So there's a few that I take part in. I'd say sporadically, because I'm not like I'm not out there like the spokesperson for any of these organizations. It's more just the ones that I've been a part of throughout the years.
No, it's nice.
Not to think about it too much. Is more like I tend not to think about. I don't know. I guess it's just it's just what I do necessarily, but I don't necessarily think, well, what are you doing right now? Like, what are the little things or the big things or whatever, right? Like it's just.
No, but it's good to give back, and you do a lot. And there's actually one I'm thinking of that you didn't mention that you've done quite a bit of traveling with and volunteering for. Landmark.
Oh, sorry.
Landmark.
Oh, Landmark. Oh yeah,
You were doing a lot.
Yeah, I did a bit of Landmark. I never even considered it like that, but if you Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It is. You don't get paid for that.
No, no, no. Yeah. It's been a little while though. I mean, it's I haven't done like what I would do is like when they have certain events and they need support,
Mhm.
I'd offer my time because of course I've known their curriculum and whatnot for a bit.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean that yeah.
You did a lot of traveling for them, a lot. So, yeah, that's another one. And that's giving back to people personally and professionally, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a way to
Yeah.
community to give back to professional communities. It's not just professional, it's very diverse.
Well, that's why I said personal and professional, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're hitting home personally for them and helping them grow. So,
yeah.
you've done a lot, Greg, and I know you probably have other things that you're not even mentioning, but you've done quite a bit. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank you for giving back. Are there any tips, suggestions you have for our audience? Anything you want to share?
Well, I would say like, whatever. So for example, how you know me is as Randy is as an entrepreneur, right? I believe that we should always um like not put limitations on ourselves, right? Like don't put limits on what it is that we think is possible as well,
Mhm.
right? If there's something that deep down that you want to do, just do it, right? Which is one of the reasons why I like entrepreneurship,
Right.
because it gives me that opportunity, just knowing that there's a vehicle for doing some of these things. If you want to be if you want to help your community in a certain way, then entrepreneurship is one way of doing that, right? And it doesn't always have to be like a for-profit business, right? Like you can be a philanthropist as well, right? Where
Yeah.
if your skill is helping the community, finding a need, helping the community, enrolling others into assisting you with that, then that's great as well. But always look to how it is that you can make a difference in your community, right? I think that's key.
Mhm.
Um, there's always going to be a need out there, right? So I think when you find out where it is that you fit in, um, you'll get a lot of fulfillment from that.
Absolutely. So just a quick add to that, if they did see a need and something missing, are there any suggestions as to getting started and implementing something that they see is missing?
Um, any suggestions? That's a big question because that's a good question, and there's so many answers for that, right? I'll plug my company here for a sec. So that's one of the things we help people with is if you go to supersizeyourbusiness.ca, one of the things that we aim to do is to provide like what our specialty is providing you roadmaps um, into getting specific results for your business, right?
Right.
Um, so I think that one of the things that I would recommend there is like if you go to our website, there will be opportunities there or ways to engage with us that can help you with maybe a strategy session that will help you to take what's here and put it out there, right? Like you can book a strategy session.
Right.
We have other other services as well, like very industry specific services.
Okay.
Like if you wanted to be a notary public, for example, we have a program that teaches you how to do that.
Well,
It's just different areas. There's more that's going to be added as time comes on, right? Like it's a work in progress, like everything else. But yeah, I think that would be probably the best step because at least it gives you access to whatever it is I'm speaking about. You'll
right.
be able to access it there.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you. And what is your website?
Sure. So it's www.supersizeyourbusiness.ca.
Okay. Awesome. And we're going to have all kinds of links on this page where you can connect with Greg. Thank you so much, Greg, for sharing with us and giving back to the community and being the awesome person that you are.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.